It's Thursday, February 19th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, double homicide trial. The man accused of killing 2 seniors in the Moncton area has taken the stand in his own defense. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the art of resilience. We'll get all the details on the upcoming Purple Day Gala in support of epilepsy awareness. That's in our second hour.
And going for hockey gold, Canada's women take to the ice against the U.S. later today. We'll chat with the host of the Jocks in Jills podcast from Italy later in the show. All that and so much more just ahead on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Hey, good morning, Atlantic Canada. It is just 6:01, 6:31 if you are in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And you might notice a theme on the set today.
The band's back together.
The band's back together.
Go Canada.
Go Canada. You know, I was called out earlier this week by one Stephanie Sikos, who decided to grace us with her presence again today. So we're happy to have you here, and I need to be called out. So
even if you think the Americans will win, you've got to throw your full weight behind the Canadian women.
That's 100% true. And I brought good luck Wayne Gretzky card, you know, because like you have to have the GOAT of hockey,
yep, the great one
for Team Canada. And then I got an Erin Ambrose card, and she's playing today. So, you know, I have my 2 good luck cards.
There you go.
I have my jersey.
We're in our red.
We're in our red. Although I will say, I was in Sports Track yesterday, and I was looking around. They have all like the new jerseys for this year's Team Canada's. You have to get the jerseys made, though, right? So for most players on both the men's and women's, you do have to get them made. They did have some older jerseys, but they only had Marie-Philippe Poulin. So like, I need me a Jen Gardner. You know, so I want more women's jerseys out there and accessible. You know, so could you get on that for me?
Let's go.
Oh, dear. But if people are looking to watch the game today, do they stay inside? Do we go outside? What's weather feeling?
Well, temperatures are a little bit cooler today, but other than that, sunshine returns in the forecast. We still have lingering flurries for parts of the Maritime region, but it's around a 30 to 60% chance of it even happening. And for Newfoundland and Labrador, still dealing with a bit of snowfall. So not too bad, considering yesterday.
Newfoundland, we are seeing some flight delays out of St. John's. Is that going to continue to impact throughout the day, or are we seeing that?
Yeah, we still have those watches and warnings in effect, unfortunately, for parts of the region. So yes, we probably will see some delays still. As of right now, it is -3 degrees in Halifax, as well as into Charlottetown and Fredericton. Early this morning, -13 degrees in Labrador City, with -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill, going to feel colder this morning than it did yesterday morning. We are seeing that colder air start to move back across the region. We do have a risk of frostbite as well over in Labrador City. So we do have a special weather statement now in effect for parts of Newfoundland for Friday night until Saturday. We are going to see that snowfall become a bit heavier yet again into Friday. And we also have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Labrador. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. You can see that bit of flurry activity for parts of the Maritime region early in the morning. That will clear up for the most part, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Newfoundland still dealing with that heavier snowfall early in the morning. Will taper off a bit into the afternoon, but still going to be dealing with some active weather. And in terms of the wind, it will continue to pick up today. As of right now, 33 kilometers per hour in Grand Etang, 28 into St. John, as well as into Canso, 26 starting off your day early this morning into Yarmouth, and 24 in Moncton. In terms of wind gusts, we do have many. As of right now, 43 kilometers per hour in St. John, New Brunswick, 35 in Greenwood, 33 in Moncton and Halifax. We'll take a look at your long-range forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. The man accused in the brutal double homicide of an elderly couple in the Moncton area in 2019 took the stand in his own defense. That testimony followed Jansen Baker's own mother, who was on the stand. CTV's Derek Haggett has been covering the proceedings.
The accused in the Jansen Baker double murder trial took to the stand today as the defense began to call its evidence. Baker looked at the jury and emphatically denied killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. A packed courtroom heard Baker say, "I did not kill Rosemarie. I did not kill Bernard Saunier." Baker told the jury no amount of money in the world would get him to kill somebody. "I am not a killer," Baker repeatedly said during the day. The 29-year-old has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of the Saulniers. They were both shot in the head in their home on September 7, 2019. Baker testified he never set foot in their house and did not know them at all. Court previously heard from a Crown witness who interacted with Baker while they were incarcerated. Last month, the witness testified that Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for their deaths. Baker strongly disputed the witness's testimony. The witness's identity cannot be revealed due to a publication ban. During cross-examination, the Crown prosecutor pressed Baker about where he was at the time of the killings. Baker said he was at a club and then went home. The defense's first witness was Julie Siliker, Baker's mother. She testified about pawning a gold necklace of her son's after he was released from jail in 2020. Baker is scheduled to be back on the stand tomorrow. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Halifax Regional Municipality is struggling with the prospect of imposing a more than 11% municipal tax hike. To avoid it, councillors are considering everything from slashing transit to cutting services.
Obviously, 10 or 11 or 12% is unsustainable. We can't do that. 4 or 5, 6, I think most people could handle that. But the question is, what is that right combination of investments and restrictions so that we don't get above that?
Councillor Sean Cleary has asked staff to look at a flat tax rate, requiring about $40 million in cuts across all business units. Transit could be one item brought back to the table, with options such as stopping service at 10 p.m., eliminating holiday and Sunday routes, and reducing Alderney ferry service to every half hour. However, that's something that is not being supported by many around the table. Staff are expected to come back with budget options early next month. New Brunswickers have a few days to share their opinions on what to do about the province's sizable $1.3 billion deficit. Although there are some ideas being floated, the consensus seems to be it's not going to be easy to get that number down.
I don't necessarily think that those budget deficits that are now above $1 billion are going to be easy to get back down.
That's what we're going to get is deficits during this next number of years in order to solve problems. The key issue is whether this current government are putting the money in the right places.
The province unveiled the historic deficit yesterday, warning there will be tough choices to make, including things like fee and permit hikes, the introduction of highway tolls, or closing schools with fewer than 100 students. It was an inspiring evening in downtown Halifax last night.
Aaron and I are so pleased and proud to welcome you to the 2026 Inspired Gala and Auction in support of Special Olympics Nova Scotia.
The 32nd annual Inspired Gala and Auction in support of Special Olympics Nova Scotia is always a popular event, and this year was no exception. This year's guest speaker was Loretta Claiborne, a Special Olympian who's competed in hundreds of events and was the subject of a Disney movie in the year 2000. But she wasn't the only star of last night's event.
It's a celebration of our athletes, our volunteers. It's really a chance to celebrate Special Olympics. We've got great support, and tonight our keynote speaker is Loretta Claiborne, who, if you look her up, she is a famous Special Olympic athlete. There's a Disney movie about her, soon to have a new book out.
CTV Atlantic is proud to be a partner for the event, with our own Amanda Devison handling MC duties last night.
Yeah, always a great event.
Oh,
You've
yeah.
done a couple of Special Olympic things. You've
So fabulous to work with them. Yeah, did the truck convoy the last couple of years. So fabulous organization. This is why I am here today instead of Amanda. She had a late night, obviously, emceeing last night. So getting some much needed rest this morning.
Well, we're happy to have you.
I'm happy to be here.
So obviously we are dealing with the red theme based on Canada and the Olympics. Gotta bring it up. You know, it's the elephant in the room. I was like, why can't I think of the saying? But I apologize because I may have helped make Canadians nervous yesterday by saying Czechia had Team Canada's number because it was a little bit of a battle, you know, to get there. A nail biter yesterday afternoon. The Canadian men's hockey team did eventually punch their ticket to the semifinals at the Olympics, but it took Sidney Crosby hobbling off the ice and overtime to do it. So Canada had 41 shots on goal, but still needed overtime to beat Czechia. Jordan Binnington had some clutch saves at the end of the game, but it was good old new dad energy, Mitch Marner, who sends them to the semis. So they will have to face off against Finland. But I never thought I would say these words before. Thank you, Mitch Marner, but he's no longer a Maple Leaf, so I actually don't feel bad saying it anymore.
That's fair.
Just kidding. But yeah, no, I was at the gym and I was nervous. I was yelling at the TV. Donna was like, "You're coaching again." And I was like, sorry.
Has to be done. I think that was happening in a lot of households, a lot of workplaces.
A lot of bars across the country. Yeah, definitely. It was nervous.
Yeah, so sigh of relief for now.
And on to the next one for today. So more nerves to encounter as the women face off against the U.S. in the classic gold medal matchup against each other for gold.
Yes, we'll be chatting more about that throughout the morning. But for now, we'll take a quick break. And up next, a first look at your national and international news headlines on this Thursday morning. And Latavia will also have our first full look at the forecast. But for now, here's a live look at Officer Square in Fredericton. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Happy Thursday. The time now is 6:14. We're taking a live look at Charlottetown. -3 degrees starting off your day. Still going to see a chance of some isolated flurries before clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies in your area. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. A bit colder starting off the day across the region. As of right now, it is -4 degrees in Fredericton, -3 starting off your day in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, -14 in Labrador City, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. We do have a special weather statement now in effect for parts of Newfoundland for Friday night until Saturday, expecting snowfall at around 15 to 30 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts will range from 80 to 100. We do also have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Labrador for Friday night until Saturday. Much of the same is expected. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are still dealing with a bit of active weather across the region. For parts of Newfoundland, looking at some snow still remaining, and parts of Labrador also seeing a few flurries. For the Maritime region, looking at a chance of some flurry activity, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening, but expected to clear out for the most part into the afternoon. We will be seeing either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Temperature is going to remain above seasonal for parts of the region, but for the most part starting to cool down. We're going to start to see that colder air move through the region, really cooling things down as we inch towards the weekend. So for tonight, temperature is really going to drop, going to be quite cold, especially when you factor in that wind chill, taking us into early Friday morning. Another sunny day ahead, but temperatures will drop yet again for our daytime highs. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Cape Breton, looking at 1 to 10 across Labrador, and then 1 to 5 centimeters for parts of Newfoundland. Here's a look at our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a chance of flurries clearing out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -2 to +1, wind gusts up to 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island highs between -2 to -1. We are going to see isolated flurries start off your day, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, looking at around a 60% chance of flurries clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with highs between -2 to 0. For the rest of Nova Scotia, same thing applies, looking at a chance of some isolated flurries clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Highs between 0 to 3 degrees, being the warmest into Shelburne. And then for Labrador City, a chance of flurries throughout your day with a high of -12. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at snow. We'll transition over to flurries into the evening. For Friday's forecast, as I mentioned, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces, cooler daytime highs. Still seeing snow remain for much of Labrador, a bit of snowfall for parts of Newfoundland. And then into our forecast for Saturday, another low pressure system makes its way over, bringing flurries back around for the most part, parts of Nova Scotia. And then into Saturday evening, we'll start to see flurry activity for parts of all 3 maritime provinces and into Newfoundland as well. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. The deadliest avalanche in California's history claimed the lives of 8 experienced backcountry skiers. 1 is still missing. The group of 15, out with professional guides near Lake Tahoe, was buried under a massive avalanche the size of a football field. Rescuers fought through treacherous weather and frantically found 6 people alive.
Someone saw the avalanche, yelled avalanche, and then it overtook them.
This is devastating. It affects us all.
Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, a wall of fire sparked a state of emergency and urgent evacuations. Fast-moving wildfires burned across more than 60,000 hectares. The flames, fanned by extreme winds, destroyed homes, farmland, and threatened livestock. Mark Carney's minority government is now just 3 seats shy of a majority after another conservative defection Wednesday. Here's CTV's Mike Lake-Couture.
Matt brings a wealth of experience.
Prime Minister Mark Carney praising his newly poached MP. Matt Genereux says his decision to leave the Conservatives was more about the team he was joining.
Quite simply couldn't sit on the sidelines after seeing what the Prime Minister was, the ambitious agenda he was undertaking.
In November, Genereux said he was leaving politics to spend more time with his family. But the Alberta MP says it was Carney's speech at Davos that convinced him to change his mind.
I think it opened a lot of eyes for Canadians, Albertans, Edmontonians, just how serious this national heating crisis truly is.
A Conservative leader, Pierre Poilievre, responded on social media, calling the floor crossing a betrayal of the people in Genereux's riding who voted for affordable food and homes, safe streets, and a strong resource sector. And some believe Genereux could suffer the consequences of his decision in the next federal election.
They voted for a Conservative member of Parliament to represent their Conservative values, and that's not what they're getting.
In Genereux's riding, reaction was mixed.
I was delighted, absolutely delighted.
I think he should go away. Like, the man's a coward. He's a liar.
But Poilievre could feel the effects first. Genereux is the 3rd MP he's lost to the Liberals in the last 4 months. While polls have the Liberals and Conservatives in a dead heat, Carney has a 29-point lead when it comes to preferred Prime Minister.
When some caucus members leave to cross the floor to join the Liberals, that's their own vote of what I'll say discontent with Pierre Poilievre as a leader and as a potential Prime Minister.
Now, this latest floor crosser leaves the Liberals 3 seats shy of a majority. 2 of the upcoming by-elections are in Liberal strongholds, and 1 is a riding they won by just a single vote. So Prime Minister Carney could get a majority government without holding a general election.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in the hot seat inside an LA courtroom Wednesday for an unprecedented social media trial.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Zuckerberg's company faces allegations its platforms are deliberately addictive to children, causing them harm. The plaintiff is a now 20-year-old woman who says her addiction to the technology increased her depression and led to suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube, owned by Google, are the remaining defendants after TikTok and Snap settled out of court. A quick break now. When we return, your must-see moment from our colleagues at TSN. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Well, that bodes well because the women's team won in 2010, also beating the United States at home in Canada. So, you know, fingers crossed. However, we'll go and see what our must-see moment from yesterday was with our friends from TSN.
Matt Scooby here in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. For it, we head to the Premier League, where, again, league leaders Arsenal taking on the Wolves. Second half stoppage time, Gunners up 2-1. They fail to clear the cross. Tomadozi smashes it off an Arsenal defender. The ball then goes off the post before deflecting in. Wolves, who sit last in the table, come back from 2 goals down to shock the league leaders. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. And today, Canada goes for gold against the United States, and women's hockey coverage starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on CBC and TSN. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
This TSN must-see moment brought to you by J.R. Rahe's Furniture and Appliances.
All right, taking a look at our 3-day forecast, starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 0 today. We do have scattered flurries for the southern region, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. On Friday, -2 degrees with sunshine. And then on Saturday, looking at a high of -2, we have a mix of sun and cloud and flurries returning into the evening. Nova Scotia will look at a high of 1 today, scattered flurries for parts of the province, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Then on Friday, looking at a high of 2, lots of sunshine with evening flurries. And then on Saturday, cooling down to -2 degrees, we do have sunshine for much of the province, but also looking at scattered flurries for Cape Breton. For Prince Edward Island, a high of -2, isolated flurries clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies today. On Friday, -6, mainly sunny skies across the island. Then on Saturday, sunshine returns, -2, and evening flurries.
Coming up in this half hour, the Move Morning Chat. And today we're talking about words that get mispronounced by your partner. We might end up causing a fight, and that's going to be in about 15 minutes on your Morning Atlantic.
Thanks for being with us on this Thursday morning. And I still can't get over just thinking about the weather yesterday, how it started off so brutal. It ended up being the nicest winter day.
The only thing that was correct about the forecast yesterday was the fact that sunshine was supposed to happen. But before that, it was saying flurries. I was like, yeah, it's going to be light. Then I look outside. I'm like, actually, it's pretty heavy right now.
Oh, yeah. We battled through the snow it was our dog's annual checkup at the vet yesterday.
Of course,
so it had to be there right at 9 sharp yesterday morning. So battling through the snow, and then when I was taking her out for a walk in the afternoon, could not have been a nicer day. I was like, oh, we can, as long as you want to take this walk today, great. Didn't need to layer up like we have to normally.
Right? Yeah. Yesterday was like 4 degrees.
Yeah.
It feels like that false spring. Yeah. Kind of time of year where it's that little like glimpse of what's to come.
Yep.
Still in a few more weeks, but
yeah, literally ran around, did errands without a jacket on, and I was like living my best life.
I love when that happens. Yeah, just like a thick sweater or even just like a hoodie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But okay, today temperatures are dipping down, but not too bad. Still remaining above seasonal for parts of the maritime region.
Okay.
We'll start to see temperatures continue to dip as we inch towards this weekend, but still going to remain pretty much almost seasonal or just below. That was a live look at Moncton. As of right now, -3 degrees heading outdoors. Same thing goes for Charlottetown and in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, -6 degrees over in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, and -5 in Corner Brook. Here's a look at that wind chill. A bit cooler starting off the day since even yesterday morning. Temperatures will rise yet again, though, but temperatures dipping down into tonight yet again. We do have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland for Friday night until Saturday. Same thing goes for parts of Labrador. So parts of Newfoundland still dealing with that snowfall, at times heavy for parts of that province. It will become a bit lighter into the afternoon, but still going to see snow persist. Whereas the maritime region, a chance of some flurry activity that will clear out, leaving sunshine in your area. In terms of the wind, though, will continue to pick up out of the northwest today, 30 kilometers per hour into Sydney and Yarmouth, 26 in Greenwood, 20 into Fredericton. Wind gusts of up to 44 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 43 in Yarmouth, 41 in Lunenburg, and 31 into Fredericton. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. Police in Moncton have now identified the woman found dead in a garbage bin earlier this week, but they are still trying to determine how she died. Police say the victim is a 39-year-old woman from Moncton. They have been in contact with her family, but have not yet released her name to the public. The woman's body was found Sunday afternoon at the end of High Street. Her death is being investigated as a homicide. At this point, no arrests have been made. The man accused in the brutal double homicide of an elderly couple in the Moncton area in 2019 took the stand in his own defense Wednesday. Jansen Baker is accused of killing Bernard and Rosemary Saunier. On Wednesday, a packed courtroom heard Baker say he did not kill the two, telling the jury there's no amount of money in the world that would get him to kill somebody. He repeatedly told the courtroom, "I am not a killer." The 29-year-old has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. The Saulniers were both shot in the head in their home on September 7th, 2019. Baker is scheduled to be back on the stand today. Halifax Regional Municipality is struggling with the prospect of imposing a more than 11% municipal tax hike. To avoid it, councillors are considering everything from slashing transit to cutting services. CTV's Callum Smith reports.
Less than a week after Councillor Sean Cleary asked staff to bring a budget holding a flat tax rate, councillors were back at the table today with a now 11.2% increase to debate. Much of the day, public presentations, some willing to pay for services.
If me paying an extra $40 or so a month means a city for me and others to live in instead of one that doesn't care for its people, sign me up.
Others worried about cuts.
This is a tiny drop in the Halifax budget, but it would have a major detrimental effect on arts programs in this city.
Many councillors agree people can't afford double-digit hikes, but even if Halifax holds the line, bills will still climb.
A flat tax rate, given just the assessment lift this past year, I think comes in at around 4-point-something% increase on the tax bill.
That's why Cleary asked staff to bring back a budget that would result in a flat tax rate, requiring about $40 million in cuts across all business units.
Obviously, 10 or 11 or 12% is unsustainable. We can't do that. 4 or 5, 6, I think most people could handle that. But the question is, what is that right combination of investments and restrictions so that we don't get above that?
Transit could be one item brought back to the table, with options such as stopping service at 10 p.m., eliminating holiday and Sunday routes, and reducing alternate ferry service to every half hour. But Cleary and others wouldn't support that.
I'm not in favor of doing things like cutting transit, cutting these services that people really rely on. I don't think that's that is penny wise but pound foolish.
Janet Steele heard plenty of concerned feedback after people learned transit could be under the microscope for cuts.
I think we really need to be finding a way that we can make more investments so that more residents can use transit for affordability, but also to address congestion and address the environment.
Staff will come back with options early next month. Callum Smith, CTV News, Halifax.
Nova Scotians will soon receive specialized care through a new menopause clinic. The province says it is in the initial phase of what will be Canada's first menopause centre of excellence. The new specialized clinic will be dedicated to managing symptoms related to perimenopause, menopause, and postmenopause. A request for proposals has been issued for clinic space. Officials admit getting here has been a long road.
When you think about, trying to marry together IWK, community-based clinicians, Nova Scotia Health, the Menopause Society, it's been a really important opportunity for us to kind of understand what the vision really is. And so now we'll continue that work. There's more that can be done outside of the bricks and mortar, but we are announcing today that bricks and mortar will come through this RFP process.
The clinic will be staffed by a general practitioner, registered nurse, pelvic floor physiotherapist, as well as a dietitian and gynecologist. It is expected to open next winter. And we actually have some breaking news to go to right now this morning. The former Prince Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has been arrested in Britain. Details are just coming in, but police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein file. So we'll continue to have updates on that throughout the morning, but this is just coming in this morning as of a few minutes ago. So continue to update through the newscast this morning.
Yeah, multiple news outlets across the pond have been reporting on that. Bill Gates actually also pulled out of keynote speaking at an AI conference also in regards to Epstein files. So an ongoing situation that we will continue to monitor.
Absolutely.
However, in our region, we're gonna go on a lighter note and talk about, if you're looking for some family fun this weekend, what you want to do is catch those players that are at the top of their game, because the Atlantic University Sport Annual Basketball Championships kick off this Friday with titles and nationals on the line. So tip-off is at 1 p.m. on Friday with the women of SMU taking on St. FX in the quarterfinal. And at 3, defending champs, the UPEI Panthers square off against the Cape Breton Capers in the men's. Later in the quarters, Memorial faces UPEI on the women's side, while their men's team tips off against Acadia. Now this weekend sees 10 games total with men's and women's finals on Sunday at 1 and 4 p.m. respectively. The women's UNB Reds and Acadia get buys into the semifinals like the Reds and X-Men on the men's side. So lots happening this weekend at Scotiabank Center here in Halifax. Of course, we are continuing to monitor the snow situation in Newfoundland because Memorial, of course, coming in for the play this weekend. So a developing situation, but nonetheless, the tournament will go on.
Makes sense, yeah?
Yep.
Hopefully the athletes can make it.
Yes.
No.
Luckily, both teams do have buys into.
Yes, they have some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they do have some time because they don't play till Saturday. But yeah, an ongoing situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, still ahead this morning, your entertainment headlines. But next, the Move Morning Chat. Today, we want to know, is there a word your partner always mispronounces? Sounds like Aaron wants to start a fight. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 6:42. Taking a live look at St. John's, Newfoundland. As of right now, -1. And we are seeing some light snowfall in your area. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. Roads could become slick. We are going to see snowfall throughout the day today in your area. Over across the region, we are seeing cooler temperatures, but still not too bad starting off your day. As of right now, -4 degrees in Fredericton, -3 in Charlottetown, and in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, -4 degrees over in Cartwright, and -2 in Gander. A special weather statement now issued for parts of Newfoundland for Friday night until Saturday. Expected snowfall at around 15 to 30 centimeters, and wind gusts will range from 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes with the special weather statement in effect for parts of Labrador. So here's a look at our forecast timeline. Still dealing with some active weather for parts of Newfoundland, as I mentioned, looking at some snowfall. For parts of Labrador, seeing flurry activity this morning and will continue into the afternoon. And then for the Maritime region, looking at a chance of some flurry activity that is expected to clear for the most part into the afternoon, leaving sunshine. So looking at either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. Temperatures still going to remain relatively warm, but starting to cool down. And we are going to see this cool air begin to move across the region into tonight, really cooling things down for the Maritime region. And then factor in that wind chill, going to feel a lot colder. Friday, looking at sunshine yet again, temperatures continue to cool down. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Cape Breton Island. Same thing goes for Labrador, and then around 1 to 5 for parts of Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at a chance of some flurries that will clear out, leaving sunshine across the province. Daytime highs will range from -2 to +1. And then for Prince Edward Island, highs between -2 to -1. We're looking at some flurry activity as well. That will clear out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, scattered flurries expected, clearing out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with highs between -2 to 0. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at a chance of flurry activity, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud as well, with highs between 0 to 3 degrees, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. For Labrador City, a high of -12. Scattered flurries expected throughout your day. 1 degree for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at snow, transitioning over to flurries into the evening. Friday's forecast, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces. We are going to see a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland. Labrador looking at snowfall. And then into our forecast for the weekend. On Saturday, we have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing some flurry activity back around for parts of Nova Scotia. Into the evening hours, started to see flurry activity for all 3 maritime provinces. Newfoundland, Labrador still dealing with snowfall as well. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to the Move Morning Chat. It's that time again, the Move Morning Chat. This morning, we're asking the question, what is a word that your partner constantly mispronounces? Aaron, why are we talking about this?
Okay, we had to bring this up on the show this morning because I am the partner that is always pronouncing things incorrectly in my real life, on the show with Peter all the time.
Aaronisms.
Yeah, we do. We call them Aaronisms. Now, in particular, I had to bring this story up because I often host a trivia night at a local pub in Halifax. And my only job is to show up and read the questions, okay? I have no idea what they're going to be. So oftentimes I'm like, oh my gosh, panicking. I don't know how to say this. So I'm looking at the screen and I'm reading out the word crustacean. Crustacean. And my partner was at trivia night, and I could see her eyes just like looking at me across the room, just going, Erin, it's crustacean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm reading this word crustacean instead of crustacean. And this is just an example of one of the many Erinisms that happen on the air, off the air. And it got us chatting about, you know, the things your partner will mispronounce. And sometimes it gets a little under your skin because they never get it right. Right, Peter?
My personal favorite, though, Erin, is when you tried to say rhinoceros.
Oh.
Okay? And it came out rhinoceros.
Rhinoceros.
And
I love it.
Absolutely positive.
Confident. Confident.
Now, as far as my partner goes, I want to say that I find this absolutely adorable. And it's not even a mispronunciation. It's just a turn of phrase. Because she grew up with her first language being Italian and didn't speak English until she went to school, in an English school in Pictou County here in Nova Scotia, there are still some Italian turns of phrases that still stick around. For example, when she wants me to turn off the light at the end of the night, turn off all the lights, she will say, close the light, please. And it's a literal translation from what she would say in Italian as well. Maybe she wants me to vacuum something. She will say, could you pass the vacuum in the kitchen, please? And again, it's a literal translation that I find adorable. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I'm going with this one.
I love it. I love it. I love the close the light. That's so cute. It's not necessarily a mispronunciation, but it's one of the ones where, you know how there's like so many turns of phrase and everybody says it differently, right? Like mind-boggling is what I always say, and that's what I grew up with. My friend Lamar, he says mind-bottling.
Oh.
And like has a full-on argument with me every single time, and I'm like, it's not bottling, it's boggling.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
And he's like, but how does that even make any sense? He's like, you know, the bottles rattle, and I was like, boggling is an actual word, though.
Gotta love it. Oh my goodness. Okay, nothing for me really sticks out. I'm sure Kyle says many things wrong, but for me, I'm the culprit. I grew up in a West Indian household. I was saying Canada's Day. I've been saying all kind of weird stuff, and yeah, wrong. Especially when I got on air. They're like, that's not what you say. And I'm like, man, broken English is my language, really.
Yes, you're doing your best.
Exactly. I'm just doing my best.
Yeah, we're just trying to survive.
Exactly. Now we're going to pose the question to our viewers. Yep. So what is something that your spouse says, or maybe you say incorrectly? We want to know. Text us at 10400.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
Welcome back. It is 6:52, and it's that time again to catch a flight over to Hollywood for your entertainment headlines.
U2 has some new music. The band is out with Days of Ash, a new 6-track EP that includes 5 new songs and a poem. U2 says it comes ahead of a new album they plan to release later this year that's, quote, inspired by the many extraordinary and courageous people fighting on the front lines of freedom.
You want me? Dead or alive?
Tom Noonan has died. The character actor's breakout role was in 1986's Manhunter, after which he starred in crime and action thrillers like RoboCop 2, Last Action Hero, and Heat. Noonan was 74. Free me. Those were the words posted to Shia LaBeouf's X account after the Transformer star was arrested in New Orleans earlier this week. Police reports indicate the 39-year-old actor got into an altercation with 2 other men during Mardi Gras celebrations. And 11 turns 22. Stranger Things star Millie Bobby Brown is celebrating a birthday today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News.
All right, we're going to head over to Italy now, where we check up on a married couple on an extraordinary work trip. So they are the lead physicians behind Canada's men's and women's hockey teams at the Olympics.
Yes, CTV's Heather Butts on how they're supporting the teams and each other.
I texted him. This Calgary couple hasn't spent much time together in Italy, and they're perfectly okay with that. This trip is about the two doctors supporting Canadian athletes.
It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's great that they put their trust in us to do the jobs.
Yeah. Ian Auld is the lead physician for the men's hockey team. His wife, Laura Benyon, the lead physician for the women's team. They've both spent decades working with professional athletes, but this is their first time joining Team Canada at the Olympics.
The women's team has a special culture, and I really appreciate that. It's made the whole experience really rewarding and valuable.
An experience they take to heart as an integral part of Team Canada.
There's a lot of pride with representing Canada, for sure.
Although we're not on the ice, and we know we're a support for the athletes, and we do the best that we can for them.
207 athletes are representing Canada at these games, backed by a team of more than 230 coaches and support staff, all who face unique challenges.
Right off the bat, we got hit with noro. Our team didn't get hit with norovirus, but our first opponent, Finland, couldn't play. So right away, we're rescheduling a game at the Olympics, which is unheard of, and having to figure out what our own risk is as a team.
Relying on their medical backgrounds and each other to help keep everyone in the game.
We've been leaning on each other for questions and issues and bouncing things off each other. We both, I think, bring different, skill sets into this job.
Auld was part of the Four Nations win, but says the pressure here is more intense. This is the Olympics.
You can see it in our players. This is a big one for them. This is what they've been dreaming of for a long time.
As the doctors focus their time and energy on athletes, they too have a team behind them with their daughter and family members here in Italy to support them. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
Taking a look yet again at our 3-day forecast for New Brunswick, a high of 0. We do have a bit of flurry activity for parts of the province, clearing out, seeing sunshine. And then on Friday, temperatures start to cool down. We're looking at a high of -2, sunny skies right across the province. On Saturday, -2 degrees, looking at a mix of sun and cloud, returning flurries into the evening. So for Nova Scotia, pretty much the same. We do have a bit of flurry activity early in the morning. That will clear, leaving sunshine. And then into Friday, 2 degrees is your daytime high, mainly sunny skies across the province. Flurries return into the evening. On Saturday, we start to see those temperatures cool down, -2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, but scattered flurries returning, to Cape Breton Island. For Prince Edward Island, -2 degrees today. Isolated flurries will clear, leaving mainly cloudy skies into the afternoon. On Friday, cooling down further, -6 degrees, lots of sunshine across the province with mainly sunny skies. And then on Saturday, looking at -12 degrees is your daytime high, a mix of sun and cloud, but we do have flurries returning yet again into the evening. That's a look at your weather. We'll have your full forecast just ahead, but time now, 6:56. We're going to take a break. Please stick with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back after this.
It's Thursday, February 19th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, double homicide trial. The man accused of killing 2 seniors in the Moncton area has taken the stand in his own defense. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And the Purple Day Gala. We'll chat with the founder of Epilepsy Awareness Organization about the event. That's later in this half hour. Those stories and more coming up on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Good morning, Atlantic Canada. Thank you so much for joining us. The time now is 7 o'clock. It's Thursday. We're inching towards the end of the work week, where temperatures are going to cool down.
All right, something to be aware of.
Yeah.
And if you are just tuning in this morning, the former Prince Andrew has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct. We'll have more on that coming up in the newscast this morning, and we'll continue to be monitoring the situation as well throughout the morning, just providing any updates that continue to come in. So we'll have more on that in just a few minutes. Just wanted to let everyone know if they are just tuning in at this hour.
Absolutely.
Yep. breaking news indeed. And again, like Steph said, we'll continue to monitor both on our website as well as throughout the newscast today. But taking a look at weather conditions, what are we feeling for this Thursday?
Well, we're starting to see temperatures cool down, still going to remain above seasonal for parts of the maritime region. We do have sunshine in the forecast yet again, but also a bit of active weather tracking across Newfoundland, specifically seeing that snowfall still from yesterday's storm. And we do have a bit of flurry activity as well. But other than that, it's pretty typical, nice day. It's going to feel quite warm yet again, but starting off a bit cooler.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that's February.
Exactly. Look at McAdam, a beautiful sunny start to your day as the sun begins to rise, looking at a mix of sun and cloud. Clouds will continue to clear out into the afternoon, but currently starting off at -6 degrees. It's a bit warmer in Fredericton, -4 starting off your day, -2 degrees in both Charlottetown and Halifax, -2 currently in Sydney with -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill still factoring in early this morning. We also have a risk of some frostbite over in Labrador City. Keep that in mind if you are headed out in that area today. A special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland. This is for Friday night until Saturday. We have another system that will be making its way over. Same thing goes for Labrador. We're looking at a special weather statement in effect. Here's a look at our satellite and the radar. As I had mentioned, we're still seeing some snowfall for parts of Newfoundland. That will taper off to flurries into the evening before the rest of the region looking at flurries, clearing out, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud this afternoon. In terms of the wind, it's going to be breezy across the maritime region. As of right now, 30 kilometers per hour in Sydney, as well as into Yarmouth, 28 into Grand Etang, 26 in Greenwood, 22 in St. John, New Brunswick. In terms of the wind gusts, getting up to 44 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 43 in Yarmouth, 41 in Lunenburg. We'll take another look at your long-range forecast just ahead, but first a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with breaking news. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein files. Police did not name Mountbatten Windsor as normal under UK law, but when asked if he'd been arrested, the force pointed to a statement saying they had arrested a man in his 60s and that they had opened an investigation into the allegation of misconduct in public office. The man accused in the brutal double homicide of an elderly couple in the Moncton area in 2019 took the stand in his own defense. That testimony followed Jansen Baker's own mother, who also was on the stand. CTV's Derek Haggett has been covering the proceedings and has more.
The accused in the Jansen Baker double murder trial took to the stand today as the defense began to call its evidence. Baker looked at the jury and emphatically denied killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. A packed courtroom heard Baker say, "I did not kill Rosemarie. I did not kill Bernard Saunier." Baker told the jury no amount of money in the world would get him to kill somebody. "I am not a killer," Baker repeatedly said during the day. The 29-year-old has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of the Sauniers. They were both shot in the head in their home on September 7, 2019. Baker testified he never set foot in their house and did not know them at all. Court previously heard from a Crown witness who interacted with Baker while they were incarcerated. Last month, the witness testified that Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for their deaths. Baker strongly disputed the witness's testimony. The witness's identity cannot be revealed due to a publication ban. During cross-examination, the Crown prosecutor pressed Baker about where he was at the time of the killings. Baker said he was at a club and then went home. The defense's first witness was Julie Siliker, Baker's mother. She testified about pawning a gold necklace of her son's after he was released from jail in 2020. Baker is scheduled to be back on the stand tomorrow. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
New Brunswickers have a few days to share their opinions on what to do about the province's sizable $1.3 billion deficit. Although there are some ideas being floated, the consensus seems to be it's not going to be easy to get that number down.
I don't necessarily think that those budget deficits that are now above $1 billion are going to be easy to get back down.
That's what we're going to get is deficits during this next number of years in order to solve problems. The key issue is whether this current government are putting the money in the right places.
The province unveiled the historic deficit this week, warning there will be tough choices to make, including things like fee and permit hikes, the introduction of highway tolls, or closing schools with fewer than 100 students. Nova Scotia is also mired with a record deficit, and like New Brunswick, officials are studying spending line by line in an effort to find savings. Officials won't say if that will translate into job losses, but public sector unions are bracing for that. In addition, all departments have been asked to examine what a 10% spending cut would look like to them.
Departments were asked to take a look at their grants, and also they've been asked to look at hiring very carefully. So those are some measures that they're considering, and further measures will be discussed at budget.
Nova Scotia's budget will be released next week. It's hard to believe, but it's been 22 years since the storm dubbed White Juan hit the Maritimes. Snow fell at a rate of 5 centimeters an hour for 12 straight hours, and sustained winds blew at near hurricane speeds up to 124 kilometers per hour. Dartmouth, Charlottetown, and Yarmouth all broke daily snowfall records, as some areas, including the Halifax region, saw almost 100 centimeters of snow before the storm was over.
Looks like Winnipeg.
In a way, none of us were living here at the time, but I've just heard stories when I first moved here. You know, it's this memory that everyone has because of how bad this storm was. So it's something I hope to never see in my lifetime.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good with this one, but wild.
Makes me thankful for the snow we've gotten this season. Not nearly as bad.
Nice and fluffy.
All the complaining that I've been doing, you know what?
Take it back.
Could be worse. Take it back. Could be worse. Happy with what we have.
Happy with what we have. Mother Nature, just keep on this track. Don't go back to that track.
Yeah.
Okay, well, obviously sleep is something we always talk about on the show because we're up fairly early. Are you a front sleeper or a back sleeper or a side sleeper?
Side sleeper.
I sleep like a corpse is kind of how my husband describes it. Sometimes just like face down in the pillow.
Wow.
That's terrifying. That's what he says too.
Okay.
But also side, back, kind of, thrasher.
Okay, so then this is you. Let's take a look at, this is Stephanie. So.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Just doing some exercises. There we go. Yep, this is Stephanie.
Oh my goodness.
That's pretty accurate, I would say. Yeah.
Well, do the boys do this, Latavia?
Yeah.
So Stephanie and the babies, they all sleep the same.
Yeah, we were like
sleeping like a baby.
Exactly. Although they don't sleep through the night most nights, but we were changing their sheets yesterday, and I was like fixing Sunny's pillow. I'm like, what's the point of these pillows? They don't use them. Stone, no, doesn't touch the pillow. Sunny, maybe once
if he's feeling
at night.
it.
So it's there just in case.
But yeah, they're all over. It's so hard to find them in the morning, especially in the dark, because I have to like change out their bottle, and I'm like, where are you? Without waking them up too. Yeah. Fun time.
Oh, I love it. Love to see it.
All right, well, still ahead in this half hour, we'll have your national news headlines. But first, Latavia's latest look at the Thursday forecast. Here's a live look at Peggy's Cove this morning. Looking beautiful out there. A little bit cloudy, though. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Welcome back. The time now is 7:13. We're taking a live look at Wentworth, -3 degrees, starting off your day. Expecting some scattered flurries before clearing out late into the afternoon, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. It's a bit cool for parts of the region. As of right now, -6 degrees in Fredericton, -4 over in Charlottetown. Early this morning in Halifax, it is -3. -2 degrees in Sydney with -4 over in Cartwright, -3 in St. Anthony. We do have a special weather statement in effect for Friday night until Saturday for parts of Newfoundland. We are expecting around 15 to 30 centimeters of snowfall. Wind gusts will range from 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. Same thing for the special weather statement in effect for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are going to see a bit of sunshine starting off the day for parts of the region, but for the most part, we are dealing with some flurry activity for parts of the Maritimes, also seeing some flurry activity for parts of Labrador. Now for Newfoundland, still dealing with snowfall, and we are going to see that continue throughout the day today. But into the afternoon for the Maritime region, starting to see that flurry activity clear out, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. For tonight, though, temperature is cooling back down, so it's going to be a very cold night ahead. Pretty clear skies with partly cloudy skies for parts of the region, taking us into early Friday, another sunny but colder day ahead. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Cape Breton Island, 1 to 10 also for parts of Labrador, and then 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Newfoundland. Over to New Brunswick, we are going to see a chance of some flurry activity clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Daytime highs between -2 to 3 degrees for Miramichi. Wind gusts getting up to 40 kilometers per hour. Prince Edward Island, highs between -2 to -1. Flurries starting off your day clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, some scattered flurries start off your day clearing, leaving a mix of sun and clouds through the afternoon. Daytime highs between -2 to 0. For the rest of Nova Scotia, looking at highs between 0 to 3 degrees, being the warmest into Shelburne. Flurries also starting off the day clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Labrador City looking at a chance of scattered flurries throughout your day, a high of -12 degrees. 1 degree into St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at snow that will transition over to flurries into the evening. So Friday's forecast, as I mentioned, sunshine for all 3 maritime provinces, cooler daytime highs for Labrador, looking at some snowfall, Newfoundland, a bit of flurry activity. And then for Saturday's forecast, we have another low pressure system making its way over. Flurry activity for parts of Nova Scotia first, and then into the evening, we start to see flurries for all 3 maritime provinces, and parts of Newfoundland still dealing with some snowfall. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Stephanie for your national and international news headlines.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with breaking news. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein files. Police did not name Mountbatten Windsor, as is normal under UK law. But when asked if he'd been arrested, the force pointed to a statement saying they had arrested a man in his 60s and that they had opened an investigation into the allegation of misconduct in public office. The deadliest avalanche in California's history claimed the lives of 8 experienced backcountry skiers. 1 is still missing. The group of 15, out with professional guides near Lake Tahoe, was buried under a massive avalanche the size of a football field. Rescuers fought through treacherous weather and frantically found 6 people alive. Meanwhile, in Oklahoma, a wall of fire sparked a state of emergency and urgent evacuations. Fast-moving wildfires burned across more than 60,000 hectares. The flames, fanned by extreme winds, destroyed homes, farmland, and threatened livestock. Falling demand for U.S. flights is forcing major Canadian carriers like Air Transat and WestJet to pivot. Here's CTV's Alex Carpa on how it could change your travel plans.
Yeah, this is myself with my daughter when she was going to school just outside of Pittsburgh.
Mike Gebhardt is a frequent traveler to the United States.
Well, on average, I would probably travel 3, 4, maybe 5.
His daughter lives in Alabama, but visiting her sometimes is not easy.
I do fly out of Saskatchewan most of the time, so it is a bit of a challenge. Leave early in the morning, come back late at night.
But traveling could get a little more chaotic for passengers like Gebhardt. WestJet and Air Transat recently slashed several routes from Canada to U.S. cities.
It's something to always be aware of.
Statistics Canada data last month showed that Canadians continue to take fewer trips to the U.S. in November 2025. Travel agent Daryl Silver says passengers shouldn't be worried about this shift.
Yes, could there be more problems now? I suppose, but in general, I don't think that that's significant if that is happening.
A few travel experts we spoke to say passenger demand to the U.S. from Canada is down and say it's no surprise that airlines like WestJet and Air Transat are reducing these routes.
It's one of those things where they feel they can focus on domestic, where they excel, especially on the West Coast, and become more profitable. It's good for them.
John Graddick says the reduction is consumer-driven.
Not driven by the weather, not driven by anything else. Consumers have decided that they'd rather spend their leisure travel dollars on flights other than the USA, and they're reacting to that.
Meanwhile, Porter Airlines announcing it's adding routes to the U.S., saying travelers want more options. As for Gebhardt, he says he'll continue traveling to the U.S. to see his daughter, but when it comes to vacationing south of the border, he admits he's thinking twice, especially as flight options are reduced. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
We'll take a short break now. Stay with us. You're watching Your Morning Atlantic.
Move morning. Welcome back. It is 7:22. Grab your calendar and put a big purple circle around Saturday, March 7th, because that's the date the 2026 Purple Day Gala at the Westin Nova Scotia in downtown Halifax will be. This year's theme is the art of resilience, reflects the strength, courage, and creativity of our epilepsy community. And here to tell us more is Cassidy Megan, founder of Purple Day, and Susan Rahe, educator and support coordinator. Thank you both for coming here today.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks very much.
It's so nice to have you here in person. Susan, tell us more about the work epilepsy community is doing here in Nova Scotia.
So, I mean, we've been around for over 40 years, originating as the Epilepsy Association of Nova Scotia, but spreading out into the Maritimes because of need in 2018, I believe it was. So, first of all, we offer a listening ear. I spend a lot of my time on the phone or responding to emails from across the Maritimes, sometimes from other parts of Canada who just happen to find us online. The internet's wonderful, right? So additionally, though, a big part of it, too, is navigation, and that's navigating the healthcare system, which can be difficult, but also navigating community supports and national support, federal supports and provincial supports, anything that will help a person live a life that is more suited to them, a better quality life than they would necessarily live on their own. So that's really what we do, is provide support, navigation, advocacy, education.
Right, all the important things.
Oh yeah, all the important things.
To know and the resources people need to have.
Absolutely.
So in terms of the gala, what can people expect, Cassidy?
I think, so this year's galas, we kind of changing it up. So usually it's been a sit-down meal, so reception, sit-down meal. And we change it up every year just to keep it new and fresh. But this year it's going to be a standing cocktail reception kind of style. So there's still be lots of food, so people don't have to worry about going hungry. We want to make people, that was a big thing. We're like, we're going to be there all day too. Like, we want to be fed. So we're thinking of that for everyone. And there's going to be lots of seating too for mobility issues. And also, you know, events can be, a long time standing can be hard on the feet. It's just for anybody. So seating options are there too. We've really tried to think of as much as we could to help make it accommodating for everybody. But this year's too is going to be really bringing it back to the community as well. So it's going to be art themed, art resilience. So the graphics for it is based on and I'm not going to even try to pronounce it because I know I will butcher it. But there's an art form, and it is written down in a write-up. It's where when something breaks, and I think Japan, they fuse it back together with gold. So it makes nothing that's broken or scarred is never not beautiful. And I thought that resembles really nicely with the epilepsy community. We always feel a burden or broken, or the sea just hit us. And really, it just makes us that much more resilient.
And that much more beautiful.
Right.
I was going to throw that word on you to pronounce, so you don't even need to worry about it, because I wasn't trying to either. I read it and I was like, ooh, we're going to leave this one for Cassidy. So don't you even worry. You're not alone on that one. So Susan, tell us the difference in terms of awareness regarding epilepsy.
Oh my, it's, well, you know, once again, I have to mention the internet. It has been helpful in that way. But it's also a hindrance because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and there's no filters on a lot of this stuff. So for us, it's really important that when we're going to recommend to someone that they go to a website, that we obviously have a look at it first to determine if it's appropriate or not. But we, in our own little bubble here in the Maritimes, our role to provide awareness indicates that we are out there. We're in the communities. We're preparing educational presentations for schools. Cassidy and I like to do the elementary schools ourselves. Cass does a great job too with the Boys and Girls Club. Am I right about that? Yes. Yeah. No, oh, they're totally cool.
Well, it's great that you guys are so active in the community and so out there for people to know. We've actually linked the website to ours.
Great.
And we are going to go take a look at our 3-day forecast quickly, but thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, thanks for having us.
Thanks, Brianne. Taking a look first at New Brunswick, a high of 0. We do have a mix of sun and cloud, but also seeing some scattered flurries for parts of the province. On Friday, sunshine returns, but temperature cools down to -2. And on Saturday, -2 degrees yet again. A mix of sun and cloud flurries arrive into the evening. For Nova Scotia, looking at a bit of flurry activity that will clear out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with a high of 1. On Friday, 2 degrees with mainly sunny skies, flurries into the evening. And then on Saturday, -2, we do have sunshine, but also seeing scattered flurries for Cape Breton. For Prince Edward Island, looking at -2 degrees is your daytime high. Isolated flurries clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. On Friday, -6 degrees, sunshine across the island. And then on Saturday, -2, a mix of sun and cloud, evening flurries.
Coming up in this half hour, the year of the fire horse. We'll chat with Top Chef Canada judge June Pack about one of our favorite things about Lunar New Year, the food. That's just ahead on Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back. It is 7:31, 8:01 if you are in Newfoundland and parts of Labrador. And what a great conversation with the Epilepsy Association of the Maritimes. So fantastic. Purple Day Gala. That's going to be a good one, March 7th. Our very own Emma Convey will be emceeing it. So definitely a great cause and a great gala every single year. Also, the color purple. I love it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, stunning. They both rocked it so well. As Cassie was leaving, she was wearing this gorgeous fur coat, and we're all just like shouting.
Yeah.
Just moments before we came on to you guys. But yeah, you know, here we are. February 19th, 18th, 19th.
Getting really busy now.
What
We're
day?
getting into the events season already,
Right?
with events like the Purple Day Gala. We had the event last night that Amanda emceed with Special Olympics. It's that busy time of year now that we're seeing these events popping up, which is always exciting too.
It is always exciting. They're always so much fun. You know, we have AUS basketball championships this weekend here in Halifax. Lots going on. There's always lots to do. There's also Dine Around Nova Scotia that's happening right now. If you're looking to get out and about and enjoy some restaurants that you maybe haven't tried, you know? So lots to do, but is it going to be a nice weekend for restaurant hopping, or are we going to want to stay inside?
It's going to be cold, but other than that, sunny.
Let's go have some nice hot food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is kind of what we're used to at this time, right? It's not as cold as we saw like a month ago. It was like freezing. But yeah, definitely going to see temperatures slowly cooling back down as we inch towards the weekend. As of right now, over in Port de Grave, it is -2 degrees. Keep that in mind when you are heading out. -6 in Fredericton, with -4 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -3 in Halifax, -2 degrees in Sydney, -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Here's a look at that wind chill across the Maritime region. It is cooler this morning, especially into parts of Labrador. We do have a risk of frostbite over in Labrador City. A special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland. This is for Friday night until Saturday. Same thing goes for parts of Labrador. So here's a look at our satellite and radar. We are going to see a bit of sunshine early in the morning, but also some flurry activity for parts of the Maritime region and into parts of Labrador. That is expected to clear out for the most part, leaving a bit of sunshine into the afternoon for the Maritimes. And then for Newfoundland, looking at some snowfall throughout your day. In terms of the wind, it's going to be a bit breezy for the Maritimes. As of right now, 30 kilometers per hour in Canso, 28 into Sydney and Grand Etang, looking at 26 kilometers per hour in Halifax. Wind gusts of 43 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 33 in Yarmouth, with 30 in Charlottetown. We'll take a look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with breaking news. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein files. Police did not name Mountbatten Windsor, as is normal under UK law, but when asked if he'd been arrested, the force pointed to a statement saying they had arrested a man in his 60s and that they had opened an investigation into the allegation of misconduct in public office. Now to some developing news in our region. Nova Scotia RCMP are in the Beaverbank area investigating a report of gunshots. Police say Trinity Lane is closed at this time, and people in the immediate area have been asked to stay inside their homes. Officers are asking people to avoid the area. We'll update you on this story as more information becomes available. Police in Moncton have identified the woman found dead in a garbage bin earlier this week, but they are still trying to determine how she died. Police say the victim is a 39-year-old woman from Moncton. They have been in contact with her family, but have not yet released her name to the public. The woman's body was found Sunday afternoon at the end of High Street. Her death is being investigated as a homicide. At this point, no arrests have been made. Halifax Regional Municipality is struggling with the prospect of imposing a more than 11% municipal tax hike. To avoid it, councillors are considering everything from slashing transit to cutting services.
Obviously 10 or 11 or 12% is unsustainable. We can't do that. 4 or 5, 6, I think most people could handle that. But the question is, what is that right combination of investments and restrictions so that we don't get above that?
Has asked staff to look at a flat tax rate, requiring about $40 million in cuts across all business units. Transit could be one item brought back to the table, with options such as stopping service at 10 p.m., eliminating holiday and Sunday routes, and reducing Alderney ferry service to every half hour. However, that's something that is not being supported by many around the table. Staff are expected to come back with budget options early next month. Moncton speed skater Courtney Saroux has created quite a buzz in our region. Just yesterday, the 25-year-old claimed a bronze medal for her 4th podium appearance of the Olympics. As CTV's Avery McCrae reports, the most decorated New Brunswick Olympian ever has also increased interest for the sport in her province.
2 weeks ago, Moncton's Courtney Saroux wasn't a household name around the Maritimes. Fast forward to multiple Olympic medals, and now everyone knows who the overachieving 25-year-old is.
We all knew the potential she had, and she's showing it.
Speed Skate New Brunswick Technical Director Derek McLeod points out how Saroux was the top-ranked short track skater in the world heading into the Games. He says it proves even in small provinces like New Brunswick, world-class talent can emerge.
We get those types of people who never really realized it was an option. They might be in another ice sport, and they realize, going fast is what their child wants to do.
McLeod says every Olympic cycle there is an increased interest in the sport around the province. But Saroux's success is resulting in a speed skating surge.
Some people are reaching out now that we have a few weeks left, but they're looking towards next year. We've got 7 clubs across the province. All are pretty well established, many years in the program, and we've got excellent Learn to Skate program.
While Saroux is getting the most attention, McLeod points out she is one of 3 New Brunswick-trained skaters carving up the ice on sport's biggest stage.
Small province, we're never really noticed. We're always in that underdog mentality until we surge ahead, and it's worked really well for us over the years. If they get hooked, they might be the next Courtney Saroux, Ricky Doak, or Brendan Corey.
And like Saroux, they one day could find themselves on an Olympic podium representing Canada and their home province. Avery McCrae, CTV News, St. John.
I do love seeing that with the different winter sports or even summer sports in the Olympics, when it's maybe something that's a little more niche starts getting put in the spotlight. And I'm sure it's so fun for kids too, seeing like, wait, I can be a speed skater.
Right. There's so many options. There's so many options for sport, to get outside, to get active, to move your body. I think of the Lou and LaFrance sisters from sailing. We got to interview them during the Summer Olympics, and it's like those things, right? And you're like, sailing, obviously sailors come from the Maritimes. Like, we're on the ocean, But it's just one of those things that you don't necessarily pick up on right away.
Oh yeah. Yes, because when hockey's always that #1 ice sport. Speed skating is right there too.
And it's incredible.
Yeah, so it's great seeing, Courtney Saroux, congratulations again. The most decorated Olympian in New Brunswick history.
Love
Amazing.
it. Yeah, we absolutely
At 25 years old.
I think she's got a few left in her, Yeah. But of course, in the winter, we always have to wear jackets, which, makes me happy because I like the fashion of jackets. But I'm at that point where I have to always have a hood because of the snowfall, and then the red bleeds down my head and all of that fun stuff. But I always have this issue. When someone's trying to talk to you and you're like, I can't hear, or like can't see behind me, or can't, like when you're driving and you're just like, where's the good?
That's hilarious.
Do you guys struggle with it too, or just?
Yeah, because you have to do the full body.
Yeah, exactly.
It's this.
Like what is like a mannequin, and like and your arms are always like that. Like even when you're like, you know, or like you're just like super aggressive about it, and you're like, what's behind me?
Yeah, for real. I hate wearing the hood sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's very necessary, but sometimes like, ugh, too much material, especially in winter when you're driving. Your jacket, everything.
So much. Yeah. The second I get in a car for like a road trip, it's like jackets off.
Yes.
And
Makes
I'm
sense,
like,
yeah.
it's behind me if I have to like run out and get gas or whatever, but like jacket off for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, now we're going to check in on we want you to weigh in on our Move Morning Chat, because we want to know, what word does your partner consistently mispronounce, and why does it drive you crazy?
Oh, yeah, we're getting responses already.
Yeah?
Yeah, keep them coming.
Keep them coming. All right, so text us at 10400. Of course, if you've never texted us before, choose the Atlantic option, and we want to know.
We're starting some fights this morning.
We're starting some fights this Thursday morning, you know, because why not?
This is not quite the same, but it was a joke I was telling Brienne earlier, because Kyle painted my toenails for me the other day, and I was like, they're supposed to be like a purple, shiny color, and I'm like, they're blue. And then he's like, are you colorblind? I'm like, man, they're blue. What's wrong with you? I'm going to ask everyone at work.
Yeah.
Brienne's like, they're purple. I'm like, I'm not telling him that, but I'm just like, what?
It's like, wait a minute, Emma?
Yeah, I'm like, wait. Wild behavior.
Wild behavior.
Yeah.
They're purple.
No.
Can confirm. Anyway.
All right, well, we have reached the halfway mark in our Thursday show, and we hope you'll stick around with us because we still have so much more to come. Just after the break, Latavia will have our full forecast, and then celebrating Lunar New Year with food. We'll get some easy recipe ideas that we know you'll want to make from Top Chef Canada judge June Pak. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Good morning. The time now is 7:45. Thursday, February 19th. We are seeing a cooler start to the day for parts of the region, at least. As of right now, over in Moncton, it is -3, looking at a chance of some scattered flurries, but clearing into the afternoon, seeing a bit more of sunshine. So -4 starting off your day in Charlottetown, -3 degrees in Halifax, -2 into Sydney, -4 in Cartwright, and -5 degrees in Corner Brook. We do have a special weather statement in effect for Friday night until Saturday for parts of Newfoundland. We are going to see snowfall at around 15 to 30 centimeters expected. Wind gusts will range from 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. Same thing for parts of Labrador. A special weather statement in effect could get up to 30 centimeters of accumulation. Wind gusts of up to 100 kilometers per hour. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. We are seeing sunshine starting to rise for parts of the Maritime region early this morning, but for the most part, we're dealing with a bit of flurry activity early in the morning, clearing into the afternoon, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. For parts of Labrador, also going to see flurry activity starting off your day, continuing for parts of the province into the afternoon. For parts of Newfoundland, looking at snow expected to remain throughout your day as well. So into tonight, temperatures cooling back down. We are going to start to see that colder air push across the region, really cooling things down as we head towards Friday into our forecast for this weekend. And if you're wondering, for Friday's forecast, we are going to see sunshine in the forecast for parts of the Maritime region at least. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, 1 to 10 centimeters expected for parts of Cape Breton Island as well as into parts of Labrador, and looking at around 1 to 5 centimeters of accumulation across parts of Newfoundland. For a forecast today for New Brunswick, a chance of flurry starts off the day clears, leaving sunny skies into the afternoon. Daytime highs will range from -2 to 3 degrees, being the warmest at Miramichi. Wind out of the northwest, 20 gusting to 40. Prince Edward Island highs between -2 to -1. A chance of some isolated flurries start off the day, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. For Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, pretty much the same thing, looking at some scattered flurries, clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Highs will range from -2 to 0. And then for the rest of Nova Scotia, also dealing with a bit of flurry activity that will clear out as well, leaving sunshine. A mix of sun and cloud expected with highs between 0 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City, a high of -12 degrees today. We do have scattered flurries throughout your day with a high of 1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Snow throughout your day, transitioning over to flurries into the evening. So Friday's forecast, sunshine for parts of all 3 maritime provinces. Daytime high will be on the cooler side of things as temperatures cool back down. For Labrador City, we are going to see some snowfall for the rest of the province, just a bit of flurry activity, and for parts of Newfoundland as well. Into Saturday, early Saturday morning, we are going to see temperatures cool down further. Flurries return for parts of Nova Scotia first, and into Newfoundland and Labrador, also seeing a bit of active weather. For Saturday night, all 3 maritime provinces seeing some light snowfall as well. So that's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Brienne.
Welcome back. Lunar New Year was just 2 days ago, and now in the year of the fire horse. And one of our favorite things about the Lunar New Year, you know what I'm going to say, is the food. So our partner, food contributor, and Top Chef Canada judge, Mijun Pak, joins us this morning with some of her suggestions on what to eat now. Hi, Mijun.
Hi.
All right, so what is the meaning of the Lunar New Year?
Well, it's the Lunar New Year, and it's the year of the horse, and this is the fire horse. It's a year of energy and enthusiasm and power and speed and big changes, and we love to celebrate with family and friends. That's a really important part of the Lunar New Year, and of course, we celebrate around the table and around really good food.
Absolutely. Speaking of celebrating around really good food, how can we celebrate at home?
Okay, the first recipe I have for you is longevity noodles. I'm a recent new mom, so my baby is 5 months old, and I'm always looking for easy recipes that are quick and healthy for my family. So the other day I was introduced to Blue Dragon. They have these amazing soy garlic noodles. I had also their Korean barbecue, their Korean saucy noodles, and it comes really easily. You open the bag, there's a dry noodle in there, and it just takes 5 minutes in boiling water. You pour on this delicious sauce that has no added color or preservatives, and they're vegan sauces. You stir it all up, and then you sprinkle the sesame seeds that come in a little package in there, and you can add your own toppings. So this is fun if you have friends over, family over with dietary restrictions, or they think that, Asian food can sometimes be, not that approachable to make at home. This is already done for you, and there's no preservatives, which is great. So you don't get really high sodium and all these ingredients that you can't read. Everything is understandable, and you can top your own noodle bowl with eggs, mushrooms, fried tofu, shrimp, chicken, whatever you want. So that makes it super easy.
And sounds delicious. What else you got for us?
What else do I have? I have crispy tofu bites. This is also great. This is their Korean barbecue sauce, which is really versatile. You can use that as a marinade, as a dipping sauce, or for stir fries. So you can even throw in all the ingredients that you didn't use for your noodles and stir fry it up with this sauce. This is a Korean tofu bite. So you just take a package of firm tofu, you cut it up into cubes, you marinate it in the Korean barbecue sauce. And honestly, you can just eat it like that. You don't even have to pop it in the air fryer because it's tasty like that. But you can pop it in the air fryer for 20, 25 minutes, and then out comes out these crispy tofu bites, sprinkle it with sesame seeds, and you're ready to go. Super simple.
Oh my gosh, super simple, super delicious. Where can we get these products?
Well, you can get these products at Loblaws, and you can also go to bluedragon.ca for more recipes.
Ah, amazing. Okay, quickly here to put you on the spot, what's your favorite dish to have at this time of year?
Oh my gosh, I'm a sucker for longevity noodles because it's just like they symbolize a longer life. So when you eat them, you're supposed to slurp them up rather than bite them, and to symbolize that long life you're going to have. And just who doesn't like a bowl of noodles, warm noodles during this cold weather?
Oh my gosh, you are so right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mijun.
Thank you for having me.
And happy Lunar New Year.
Health and medical news now. Prescriptions for popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy are on the rise for new moms. New research reports. Here's CTV's Amanda Debison with Your Health.
Danish researchers found a 5-fold increase in prescriptions for GLP-1 weight loss medications like Wegovy for women who had delivered a baby in the past 6 months. GLP-1s are not recommended for use during pregnancy, and there is limited safety data for their use during the postpartum period. Experts simply don't know what kind of impact they have on breastfeeding, hormones, or long-term health risks in mom and baby. A new Senate report says Canada should do more to recruit bilingual health workers. It calls on the federal government to prioritize fast-tracking immigration and credential recognition for bilingual and francophone healthcare workers. The Senate's 18-month study of language barriers in the health system heard from witnesses from across the country. They include Anglophones in Quebec and Francophones in the rest of Canada, who both said they have trouble accessing care in their own language. Finally, while sleep is an important pillar of health and well-being in teens, a new study finds it's also closely connected to another critical component: exercise.
There's a common fear that if teens sleep more, there will be less time for them to be active, and our results really suggest the opposite.
Researchers with the University of Minnesota found that sleep is the foundation of physical activity. And if a teen can get sufficient sleep, it will likely help them to move more. In Canada, 8 to 10 hours of sleep each night is recommended for teens ages 14 to 17 to help them get adequate sleep.
And now we'd like to introduce you to the Maritimers who are marking milestones today. It's a 60th anniversary for Robert and Dolores of Halifax.
Oh my gosh, what a fantastic photo. Happy anniversary, you too. It's also a 60th anniversary for Gerald and Paulette Eldridge of Falmouth, Nova Scotia.
Happy anniversary. Such a beautiful photo. It's also a 100th birthday for Edith McInnes of Kentville, Nova Scotia.
100 years young, Edith. You look fantastic. To see your milestone again or to find out how to submit one, visit our website by scanning the QR code on your screen, and a reminder that milestones must be received 2 weeks in advance. Well, we have a great contest to tell you about. So, exciting news for an exciting winner. We have partnered with our friends from Kent Building Supplies, and we want you to enter the Kent Big Bucket giveaway. Once a month, we'll reveal a different prize in the bucket and give you a chance to win. This month, the winner will receive a Made for Supply workshop prize. To enter, head to ctvatlantic.ca. The contest closes this Saturday, and we'll announce the winner on February 27th. So good luck, and of course, to see what that looks like, you can head to our website because we have a segment on that from Monday from Crystal.
All right, now we're going to take a look at our 3-day forecast. Starting off in New Brunswick, a high of 0. We do have a bit of flurry activity early in the morning, clearing, leaving sunshine. On Friday, cooling down to -2 degrees, but sunshine returns across the province. On Saturday into the weekend, a high of -2, a mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the evening. Nova Scotia also seeing a bit of flurry activity early in the morning, clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with a high of 1. 2 degrees on Friday, mainly sunny skies with flurries into the evening. On Saturday, looking at a high of -2, mix of sun and cloud for the most part, but we do have scattered flurries returning for Cape Breton. Prince Edward Island, -2 degrees today. Isolated flurries clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Friday, cooling down to -6. Mainly sunny skies across the island. And then on Saturday, -2 degrees, sunshine with evening flurries.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's Thursday, February 19th. Today on Your Morning Atlantic, double homicide trial. The man accused of killing 2 seniors in the Moncton area has taken the stand in his own defense. Your top news headlines just ahead.
And calling all would-be paleontologists, we'll visit the Nova Scotia Museum of Natural History to check out their sequel to the popular dinosaur exploration exhibit. That and so much more just ahead on the Thursday edition of Your Morning Atlantic.
Thanks for joining us on this Thursday morning. And the dinosaur exhibit looks so cool.
Sign me up.
Yeah. I love dinosaurs.
Plus, any opportunity too for to feel like a kid again too.
Yeah,
it's one of those things, you learn growing up about dinosaurs, and that just looks so fun.
Honestly, Land Before Time was like one of my favorite movies growing up. Like me
So
and my sister
good.
would watch it on repeat, and my 2 older sisters would be like, "Stop it."
It's so sad.
It's no wonder we have so much trauma as millennials. I'm just saying. But so our Move Morning Chat today is words that your partner mispronounces that drives you insane. I yesterday was trying to read the word paleontology, and I couldn't for the life of me. And I looked at it, and I was like, and Latavia's like, I'll read it. Ross Geller was my favorite.
Like the only reason I know that word.
Ross Geller was your favorite.
Yeah.
Right? I feel like that is a hot take.
That is a hot take. But you know what? He always, like, when
he was smart. He had money. A little unhinged, but they all were.
You know what? Okay. And when I think of like my favorite Friends quotes, it's "I'm fine."
Yeah.
You know, like
I feel like he was awesome. He wanted love.
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones were the other guys were kind of just like willy-nilly about it.
I mean,
except for Chandler.
Chandler was just
iconic.
Yes.
Chandler was just Who's your favorite Friends character?
I think Rachel. I always loved Rachel.
Oh yeah, Rachel's my fave girl.
Okay, yeah, so of the guys, Chandler.
Chandler, you're Team Chandler? Yeah. I mean, I gotta go Joey and Phoebe. Like, I'm so different than both of you, but like, the deranged two are my absolute.
If I was a Friends character, I'd be Phoebe. For sure. Yeah.
If I was, I'd probably be Monica. Like, let's...
Yeah, I'm probably more Monica.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, dear. Well, on that note, what's the weather like today?
Not too bad. We do have a bit of flurry activity for parts of the region. It's a chance of flurries, though, so it doesn't mean you're actually going to see any today. And we do have sunshine for the most part, not over in PEI as of right now.
A good day to ski, though.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Oh, there we go. Someone's out. Someone's out helping shovel.
All right. -5 degrees in your area as of right now. We are expecting isolated flurries across Prince Edward Island before clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies today. So not really seeing the sunshine over there. -6 degrees starting off your day in Fredericton, -3 in Halifax, -2 degrees in Sydney, -1 in St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill, going to feel a lot colder for parts of the region into the morning. We do also have a risk of frostbite starting off the day in Labrador City. A special weather statement in effect for both parts of Newfoundland and into parts of Labrador. So starting off the day, we do have snow still remaining for parts of Newfoundland. That's going to remain throughout your day. For parts of Labrador and the Maritime region, looking at a chance of some flurry activity, clearing for the Maritimes into the afternoon, leaving a bit of sunshine. In terms of the wind, all 3 maritime provinces will see a breezy wind today, especially into the afternoon. As of right now, 30 kilometers per hour for sustained wind in Canso, 28 in Grand Tang, as well as into Sydney, 26 in Halifax. Wind gusts of up to 43 kilometers per hour in Sydney, 33 in Yarmouth, and into St. John, New Brunswick. We'll take another look at your forecast just ahead. First, a look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with breaking news. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Today, Thames Valley Police said they opened an investigation after assessing reports that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor sent trade reports to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2010. The assessment followed the release of millions of pages of documents connected to a U.S. investigation of Epstein. Mountbatten Windsor features a number of times in the documents. The former prince has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in his relationship with Epstein. The man accused in the brutal double homicide of an elderly couple in the Moncton area in 2019 took the stand in his own defense. Jansen Baker is accused of killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. On Wednesday, a packed courtroom heard Baker say he did not kill the two, telling the jury there's no amount of money in the world that would get him to kill somebody. He repeatedly told the courtroom, "I am not a killer." The 29-year-old has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder. The Sauniers were both shot in the head in their home on September 7th, 2019. Baker is scheduled to be back on the stand today. New Brunswickers have a few days to share their opinions on what to do about the province's sizable $1.3 billion deficit. Although there are some ideas being floated, the consensus seems to be it's not going to be easy to get that number down.
I don't necessarily think that those budget deficits that are now above $1 billion are going to be easy to get back down.
That's what we're going to get is deficits during this next number of years in order to solve problems. The key issue is whether this current government are putting the money in the right places.
The province unveiled the historic deficit this week, warning there will be tough choices to make, including things like fee and permit hikes, the introduction of highway tolls, or closing schools with fewer than 100 students. Nova Scotia is also mired with a record deficit, and like New Brunswick, officials are studying spending line by line in an effort to find savings. Here's CTV's Jesse Thomas.
Nova Scotia's Deputy Minister of Finance and Treasury Board said her department wasn't surprised by the downgrade the province received to its credit rating, which now carries a negative outlook, but admits it's disappointing It's the first downgrade in decades as the province faces a $1.4 billion record deficit. Revenues aren't keeping up with spending.
Our revenues overall are slowing, and that is creating less capacity for us. And so we do have to look at constraining expenses in order to make sure that they align better with the growth in revenue.
Government is now looking at what they can and can't afford. Although officials won't say if job losses are coming, the union representing thousands of public employees say layoffs are likely ahead of the budget. Dean confirmed all departments have been asked to examine what a 10% cut to spending would look like.
Departments were asked to take a look at their grants, and also they've been asked to look at hiring very carefully. So those are some measures that they're considering, and further measures would be discussed at budget.
The province's Auditor General, Kim Adair, was at the committee meeting and has been calling on government to change the rules around spending outside of the budget, requiring additional spending to be debated in the legislature. The Houston government hasn't signaled it's going to change that law, and nor did the Liberals when they had their chance in power. Former Premier Ian Rankin says $6.7 billion has been spent outside of the budget since 2021, when the Houston government was first elected.
Now they're using additional appropriations as the usual practice. So it makes the whole budget process an exercise in futility when they're going to spend such a high percentage out of the Premier's office.
Nova Scotia isn't the only province facing an unprecedented deficit. New Brunswick is in a similar situation, while BC is expected to post a record $13.3 billion deficit this year. Nova Scotia's budget will be released next week. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
The grandson of the inventor of Reese's peanut butter cups is speaking out, saying they taste different. Brad Reese is accusing Hershey of quietly replacing milk chocolate and peanut butter with compound coatings and peanut butter style cream in multiple Reese's products. In a statement, Hershey says it sometimes makes product recipe adjustments, but the butter cups are made the same way they have always been.
Tomfoolery. How dare they?
We need to do a taste test.
They still taste delicious to me.
Yeah, they do. I eat them all the time. I used to hate Reese's.
Really?
Yeah, Reese's Buttercups. And then Kyle ate them so much that I kept trying them. I'm like, now I love them.
They're so good.
Yeah.
And they have like the ones with caramel in them. There's the cookies and cream ones.
And the thin ones. So my sister is deathly allergic to nuts, so we never had any peanuts or anything in the house, right? And so like even like when you got candy at Halloween, like we would weed out all the peanut stuff and just like get it out of the house.
Yeah.
So I literally like didn't have Reese's and all of that until like later on in life, and I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Like peanut butter in everything.
It's my go-to now.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep on this chocolate theme, but it's also Ramadan for those who celebrate. So happy Ramadan. Dubai is obviously a Muslim city, and they have a viral treat coming out of there. Why is this treat so viral? Well, it is the coveted Dubai chocolate. Have you tried this, ladies? Yes or no?
I haven't yet, actually.
Exactly,
I love
me
you
neither.
so much. She's been bringing us treats all
I
week.
know.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so we gotta try them, and I brought it up so that everyone also can try it. So we're gonna she breaks into it. You have to share. Sharing is caring.
Fine.
But look at how beautiful they are. So Lindt just started making them, but lots of places in the Maritimes also, lots of chocolatiers in the Maritimes are making Dubai chocolates as well. So Latavia, you're gonna dig in for us.
Yeah.
Show us what it
get
looks
it open.
like.
There we go.
There we go. So like it looks beautiful on the outside,
it's nice
right?
and big. Look at this.
Yeah.
Yum.
This is why I'm saying sharing is
Okay,
caring.
that's fair. I shouldn't eat all this chocolate.
I'll drop this one off into the controller
There we
on
go.
my
So
way
sweet.
back.
Okay,
to
everyone
my
take a
desk.
piece. There you go.
Like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I haven't tried it yet either. So I was like, you know what? This is going to be a sweet treat. Is this
I
our
wonder
sweet
what it
treat?
tastes like.
I know, right? The texture inside, there's crunchy bits, and it's pistachio.
Wow. You like it?
Yeah. Lindor chocolate's just so good.
I know.
All the flavors. The crunch is incredible. 10 out of 10, I would give this. Yeah. I suggest you try
I
some.
like that it's thin too, because I've seen some of them where it's like really
Very thick, yeah.
This is nice where it's like nice and thin. You get that little bit of the crunch in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can confirm this sweet treat. They're making them the same probably as the original recipe, unlike Reese's.
Well, we need to keep eating for now.
So we're going to take a break.
We're going to take a break.
Noodles.
But still to come this half hour, a visit to Dinosaur Exploration 2 at the Nova Scotia Museum of Natural History. But first, another look at the Thursday forecast. Here's a live look at the Truro Civic Square skating area. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be back in just a few minutes.
Good morning and welcome back. The time now is 8:14. We're taking a live look at St. John, New Brunswick. -4 degrees starting off your day. We will be seeing mainly cloudy skies in your area before clouds clear out a bit more into the afternoon. Weather is brought to you by ALC.ca. We are seeing a bit of a cool start to the day for parts of the region at least. As of right now, it is -5 in Fredericton, -4 over in Charlottetown. Early this morning, -3 degrees in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, -5 degrees in Happy Valley Goose Bay with -6 in Corner Brook. A special weather statement currently in effect for parts of Newfoundland. This is for Friday night until Saturday. We're seeing snowfall expected around 15 to 30 centimeters. Wind gusts will range around 80 to 100 kilometers per hour. Same thing goes for parts of Labrador. A special weather statement also in effect. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. So for the most part, we are seeing a bit of sunshine starting off the day for parts of the Maritime region as well as into parts of Labrador, but also seeing some flurry activity for the Maritimes as well as into Labrador. Early this morning, around a 30 to 60% chance of it happening, and then clearing out into the afternoon, leaving sunshine. Now, we are still having a snowfall for parts of Newfoundland that will persist throughout the day today, becoming flurries into the evening. And temperature is expected to cool down this evening as well. We are going to see that colder air return across the region, helping to cool things down into Friday's forecast and into the weekend as well, with sunshine returning for parts of all three Maritime provinces. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, look at around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of Cape Breton Island, 1 to 10 as well for parts of Labrador, and 1 to 10 for Newfoundland. Over to our forecast today for New Brunswick, looking at highs between -2 to 3 degrees. We're seeing flurries early in the morning, clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. For Prince Edward Island, -2 to -1 for your daytime highs. A chance of flurries early in the morning, clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies across the island. Wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, highs will range from -3 to 0. Looking at a chance of scattered flurries clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. For the rest of Nova Scotia, same thing applies. We're looking at flurries early in the morning, clearing, leaving a mix of sun and cloud. Daytime highs between 0 to 3. Labrador City looking at scattered flurries throughout the day, a high of -12 degrees today. 0 for St. John's, Newfoundland, looking at snow throughout your day, transitioning over to flurries into the evening. Friday's forecast, we are still going to see daytime highs remain above seasonal for parts of the Maritime region, but for the most part, starting to see those temperatures cool down. Lots of sunshine across all three Maritime provinces. Flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland and for Labrador, looking at that snowfall. Into our Saturday forecast, we do have another low pressure system making its way over, bringing flurries back around for parts of Nova Scotia, then into the Maritime region into the evening for all three Maritime provinces. And for Newfoundland, still dealing with a bit of snowfall. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with breaking news. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the Jeffrey Epstein files. Police did not name Mountbatten Windsor, as is normal under UK law. But when asked if he'd been arrested, the force pointed to a statement saying they had arrested a man in his 60s and that they had opened an investigation into the allegation of misconduct in public office. The deadliest avalanche in California's history claimed the lives of 8 experienced backcountry skiers. 1 is still missing. The group of 15 out with professional guides near Lake Tahoe was buried under a massive avalanche the size of a football field. Rescuers fought through treacherous weather and frantically found 6 people alive. The competition to find the perfect home may not be as intense as it once was. A new snapshot reaffirmed that Wednesday. But when we go beyond the headline, the challenges are clear. CTV's Heather Wright explains.
That January snowstorm that buried parts of southern Ontario in as much as 60 centimeters of snow and left many roads impassable for days is now being blamed for more than just messy driving.
The first day we had one party.
Alan Nasseri is a real estate broker and says a typical open house usually has about 10 interested parties. But last month, some were virtually empty. He says the weather played a role in the slow month, but so too did economic uncertainty.
There are way less buyers in the market as that confidence in the market, at least based on our observation, is not there at this time.
Winter storms compounded an already cooling real estate sector as home sales across Canada fell to multi-year lows last month, according to the Canadian Real Estate Association.
The national numbers were definitely impacted in January by that big storm that came up through southwestern Ontario and the entire GTA.
Home sales were down more than 16% in January compared to the year before and down nearly 6% compared to December sales. Despite lower interest rates and falling home prices, houses are still expensive in many markets. And while new listings rose, there is a lack of inventory when it comes to what many buyers actually want.
Housing stock and what's available in the market is a lot of very expensive detached homes and a lot of small condos, and not a lot of sort of family-friendly, affordable middle stuff.
Well, CREA expects the market will pick up at some point this year. Economists say the extent of any rebound won't be clear until at least the spring. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in the hot seat inside an LA courtroom Wednesday for an unprecedented social media trial.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Zuckerberg's company faces allegations its platforms are deliberately addictive to children, causing them harm. The plaintiff is a now 20-year-old woman who says her addiction to the technology increased her depression and led to suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube, which is owned by Google, are the remaining defendants after TikTok and Snap settled out of court. We'll take a short break now. Still much more to come here on CTV Your Morning Atlantic. Stay with us.
Move Mornings with Aaron and Peter. Weekday mornings on Move 100. The most fun in the morning. And home of the $1,000 minute. Only on Move 100 Halifax.
Hi, my name is Jeff. I'm the manager of the Museum of Natural History, and we're here at Dinosaur Exploration 2, the newest dinosaur exhibit here at the Museum of Natural History. This exhibit is the sequel or follow-up to the hit 2024 exhibit, Dinosaur Exploration. That exhibit looked at carnivorous dinosaurs and long-necked dinosaurs. This exhibit continues that storyline with horned dinosaurs and plated dinosaurs, and there's a few special surprises along the way. And it also focuses on Nova Scotia dinosaurs as well. We have a Coelophysis, we also have a Plateosaurus, and then a few smaller examples of other dinosaurs that would have been here in Nova Scotia hundreds of millions of years ago. Dinosaur exhibits are always the most popular exhibits we bring to the museum. There always seems to be lots of interest in dinosaurs. I often joke and say that they continue to make new 5-year-olds who tend to be the biggest audience for our dinosaur exhibits. Dinosaur Exploration 2 opened on February 7th and is here at the museum until September 7th. It's already proved to be a big hit. Lots of people are out over the Heritage Day weekend, and we look forward to having more visitors as the exhibit continues. For a lot of our visitors visiting Dinosaur Exploration, they're excited to see Stegosaurus, which we've never had at the museum before. There is a great scene at the end of the exhibit which shows an Allosaurus fighting another dinosaur. What's great about that as a piece is that in many museum exhibits, and certainly the exhibits we've had in the past, you see one dinosaur, then another dinosaur, and then another dinosaur, but you rarely see them interacting or rarely see them in a different way in which you sort of think of dinosaurs, and just think of them as fighting to see them. And there's a lot of discussion of what that might have been. Is that Allosaurus eating that other dinosaur? Is he fighting for territory? It asks a lot of questions, and it's a good opportunity for visitors to think about what life was like hundreds of millions of years ago. I think for many people, the experience is the best part of the exhibit. Everybody can find anything they'd ever want to know about dinosaurs. People walking around the museum have all the information about dinosaurs in their pocket. But the only thing that you can't replicate is standing in front of a dinosaur. There's no other way to stand in front of a Triceratops head and understand how big that skull really was. There's no way to stand in front of a Stegosaurus while you're reading a book about a Stegosaurus. And yes, you can see it's bigger than a car, it's bigger than a truck. But to actually stand there and see the size and scale of a dinosaur and think about what it would have been like to be alive 70 million years ago when dinosaurs were here, it's just a rare opportunity, and museums are one of the only places where you can have that experience. And so we hope that people have that experience when they come to visit Dinosaur Exploration 2.
Taking another look at our 3-day forecast, a high of 0 for New Brunswick today. A bit of flurry activity clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. -2 degrees on Friday, sunny skies. And then on Saturday, -2 yet again, a mix of sun and cloud with flurries into the evening. For Nova Scotia today, a bit of flurry activity as well. Starting off the day clearing, leaving sunshine into the afternoon, a high of 1. 2 degrees on Friday, mainly sunny skies, flurries into the evening. Then on Saturday, -2 degrees, sunshine for the most part, but we do have scattered flurries for Cape Breton. For Prince Edward Island, -2 degrees, isolated flurries clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. On Friday, -6, mainly sunny. And then on Saturday, -2 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, flurries into the evening.
Still to come this morning, Jocks and Jills in Italy. We'll chat with the popular podcast host about today's women's ice hockey gold medal game. Go Canada, go. That's in about 15 minutes on Your Morning Atlantic.
Welcome back, and thanks for being with us on this Thursday, February 19th. I'm very excited for the gold medal game today, especially I played hockey growing up. So for me, it was always so cool seeing the women play at the Olympics every 4 years. Love seeing that. So exciting now, too, with the PWHL. You know, as a child, I wish that existed back then because, you know, you feel like you're working towards something. So
yeah, I mean, it's so nice to see the growth of women's sports in general, right? Like you played hockey, I played soccer. So seeing the Northern Super League now, it makes me like so happy that this generation of girls growing up gets that opportunity to play in a professional league within their home country, right? Because like before with soccer, with hockey, you go overseas, you go down to the States. It's not really readily available in Canada. But look at our women's team, right? Like we've seen the storyline from these women for decades, and we're seeing that once again, the biggest heated rivalry in sports. It's like up there with like Manchester U and like Liverpool, right? Like that's the, you know, like that's the comparison is Canada versus the US.
A big one.
It's a big one. 2:10 our time. That's what time puck drop is for that game today. So if people are going to be tuning in, should they be doing it? Is it going to be cold or is it going to be nice?
Well, definitely not outside, that's for sure. It's going to be warmer.
I mean, you could sit on an ice rink and watch, no?
That's true. Yeah, if you're into that kind of thing, why not? It's going to be a bit of a cool start to the day. Temperatures will warm up, but still going to start to cool down as we have that colder air moving in across the region. Here's a look at White Sands. It is a cloudy start to your day. As of right now, -5 degrees in your area. So we are seeing warmer temperatures for the most part, but colder than yesterday. -5 right now in Fredericton, -3 degrees in Halifax, -2 in Sydney with -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. Factor in that wind chill, going to feel a lot colder for many areas across the region, as well as a risk of frostbite for parts of Labrador City. So here's a look at the special weather statement currently in effect for parts of Newfoundland. This is for Friday night until Saturday. We also have some snowfall indicated for parts of Labrador. In terms of our satellite and radar, we're still dealing with snow for parts of Newfoundland early this morning. We'll continue throughout the day. Parts of Labrador as well as the Maritime region, a bit of flurry activity clearing, leaving either mainly cloudy skies to a mix of sun and cloud. In terms of the wind, for all 3 maritime provinces, quite breezy today. As of right now, 39 kilometers per hour in Canso, 31 into Sydney as well as into Lunenburg, 28 in Grand Etang. Wind gusts of 43 kilometers per hour right now in Sydney. So we'll take one last look at your long-range forecast, one last look at your local news with Stephanie.
Thanks, Latavia. We begin with that breaking news we've been following this morning. The former Prince Andrew has been arrested in Britain. Today, Thames Valley Police said they opened an investigation after assessing reports that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor sent trade reports to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein in 2010. The assessment followed the release of millions of pages of documents connected to a U.S. investigation of Epstein. Mountbatten Windsor features a number of times in the documents. The former prince has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing in his relationship with Epstein. We have an update now on that report of shots fired in Beaverbank, Nova Scotia. In a now deleted social media post, RCMP had said officers were called to the Trinity Lane area earlier this morning. As it turns out, there was no evidence that any shots were fired, and officers have since cleared the scene. The man accused in the brutal double homicide of an elderly couple in the Moncton area in 2019 took the stand in his own defense. That testimony followed Jansen Baker's own mother, who was also on the stand. CTV's Derek Haggett has been covering the proceedings and has more.
The accused in the Jansen Baker double murder trial took to the stand today as the defense began to call its evidence. Baker looked at the jury and emphatically denied killing Bernard and Rosemarie Saunier. A packed courtroom heard Baker say, "I did not kill Rosemarie. I did not kill Bernard Saunier." Baker told the jury no amount of money in the world would get him to kill somebody. "I am not a killer," Baker repeatedly said during the day. The 29-year-old has pleaded not guilty to 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of the Sauniers. They were both shot in the head in their home on September 7, 2019. Baker testified he never set foot in their house and did not know them at all. Court previously heard from a Crown witness who interacted with Baker while they were incarcerated. Last month, the witness testified that Baker admitted to him that he was responsible for their deaths. Baker strongly disputed the witness's testimony. The witness's identity cannot be revealed due to a publication ban. During cross-examination, the Crown prosecutor pressed Baker about where he was at the time of the killings. Baker said he was at a club and then went home. The defense's first witness was Julie Siliker, Baker's mother. She testified about pawning a gold necklace of her son's after he was released from jail in 2020. Baker is scheduled to be back on the stand tomorrow. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
Police in Moncton have identified the woman found dead in a garbage bin earlier this week, but they are still trying to determine how she died. Police say the victim is a 39-year-old woman from Moncton. They have been in contact with her family, but have not yet released her name to the public. The woman's body was found Sunday afternoon at the end of High Street. Her death is being investigated as a homicide. At this point, no arrests have been made. Halifax Regional Municipality is struggling with the prospect of imposing a more than 11% municipal tax hike. To avoid it, councillors are considering everything from slashing transit to cutting services.
Obviously 10 or 11 or 12% is unsustainable. We can't do that. 4 or 5, 6, I think most people could handle that. But the question is, what is that right combination of investments and restrictions so that we don't get above that?
Councillor Sean Cleary has asked staff to look at a flat tax rate requiring about $40 million in cuts across all business units. Transit could be one item brought back to the table, with options such as stopping service at 10 p.m., eliminating holiday and Sunday routes, and reducing Alderney ferry service to every half hour. However, that's something that is not being supported by many around the table. Staff are expected to come back with budget options early next week. The Old New Brunswick Museum is taking on a new look. Renovation and expansion work is ongoing, and it's already revealed some surprises.
We're nearing 10% completion of construction, and we've got about 15% of the total tenders needed for the project that have actually been awarded.
Some of the work inside has uncovered some real gems, including the original floor in the building's entrance hall. The floor is being protected so it can welcome visitors again. This week, the museum's board announced that it had secured more than half of its goal of gathering $35 million. The New Brunswick government previously announced $58 million for the project, while the federal government has confirmed $49.9 million. The timeline for the building's grand reopening is 2028.
Well, there you have it.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We have all of our news of the day now in. However, there is a little bit of extra news of the day. So we're in red for Team Canada, of course. We're rooting for Team Canada today. But I need to give a little shout out here. So Hilary Knight is one of America's greatest hockey players, and this is her last Olympic appearance. So she announced prior to these 2026 games that she would not play anymore. So she is captaining the, quote, best American team Tessa Bonhomme has ever seen, and today she leads them in their fight for gold against Canada. But she also has some personal news. As of Wednesday, she proposed to girlfriend and fellow Olympian Brittany Bowe. So the speed skater and Knight met in the 2018 games, but grew closer in Beijing in 2022. And Knight wanted to propose at the Olympics because, quote, the Olympics brought us together and made us one forever.
Aww, that's very sweet.
Right? So an Olympic love story I had to bring it to you.
That's
Love
fair.
to see it.
We do love to see it. So congratulations to Hillary Knight, who is the most terrifying interview I've ever done in my life. Community calendar, what's happening?
Yeah, we'll take a look at what's taking place across the region. The Maritime Spirits Festival returns to Moncton from Friday, February 20th until the 21st. You can head over to Delta Marriott to enjoy tastings, local food, watch special presentations, and so much more. It's a 2-day event showcasing the best producers from the Maritimes. For tickets, head over to the website. And shake off the winter chill with warm vocals at the Island A Cappella concert in Charlottetown. The 4-part a cappella harmony will take place Saturday, February 21st at 2 p.m. at the Park Royal United Church. For details on the upcoming event, head over to the website on your screen. And the 10th annual Halifax Black Film Festival returns Friday, February 20th. It's a perfect way to celebrate Black voices in film and foster meaningful connections in the community. So a list of films taking place in our region. Head over to the website for additional details. The festival will run until the 24th. And if you do have an upcoming event, send us the details. We'd love to promote it. Your Morning Atlantic at ctv.ca.
Well, it's time for one more break on this Thursday morning, but stick around. We're talking Canada's women going for gold. The hosts of the Jocks and Jills podcast are in Italy, but they're taking a little time to join us to break down today's classic Canada versus U.S. on ice showdown. Stay with us. Your Morning Atlantic will be right back.
Welcome back. The time now is 8:43. We're taking a live look at Truro, -3 degrees starting off your day. We do have a chance of some scattered flurries expected throughout the morning and then late into the afternoon, seeing clearing, leaving mainly cloudy skies. As of right now, it is -5 degrees heading outdoors in Fredericton, -4 in Charlottetown, -3 degrees in Halifax, -2 in Sydney, and -1 into St. John's, Newfoundland. A special weather statement in effect for parts of Newfoundland Friday night until Saturday. Looking at snowfall, 15 to 30 centimeters expected. Wind gusts will range from 80 to 100. We do also have a special weather statement in effect for parts of Labrador. Here's a look at our forecast timeline. As of right now, we are seeing a bit of sunshine early in the morning for parts of the region, but for the most part, a chance of some flurry activity for parts of the Maritimes, as well as into parts of Labrador. Now, into the afternoon, a lot of that will clear out for the Maritimes, leaving sunshine, but we are also seeing snow persist across parts of Newfoundland that will continue throughout the day today. Into the evening, we are going to see those temperatures start to cool down, and obviously into tomorrow, another sunny day ahead. But we are also going to see those temperatures cool down because, as I had mentioned, we do have colder air returning across the region, cooling things down into the weekend. For Newfoundland and Labrador, still going to deal with some flurry activity into Friday. If you're wondering about snowfall totals, looking around 1 to 10 centimeters of accumulation for parts of New Brunswick, 1 to 5 for Labrador, and 1 to 10 for parts of Newfoundland. For our forecast today for New Brunswick, starting off the day with a chance of flurries clearing out, leaving sunshine into the afternoon with highs between -2 to 3 degrees, wind gusts of 40 kilometers per hour. For Prince Edward Island, highs between -2 to -1. We do have isolated flurries expected, clearing out, leaving mainly cloudy skies. Cape Breton, eastern Nova Scotia, same thing. Looking at some scattered flurries that will clear, leaving sunshine into the afternoon. Highs will range from -3 to 0. For the rest of Nova Scotia, seeing sunshine into the afternoon as well, but expecting a bit of flurry activity early in the morning. Temperatures will range from 0 to 3 degrees. For Labrador City, a high of -12. We do have scattered flurries expected throughout your day. 0 for St. John's, Newfoundland. Looking at snow that will transition over to flurries into the evening. Friday's forecast, although a bit warm for parts of the Maritime region still, we are going to see temperatures start to cool down right across the region. Sunshine for the Maritime region, a bit of flurry activity for parts of Newfoundland, snow across much of Labrador. Then into Saturday's forecast, we do have another low pressure system make its way over, bringing flurries starting off first into parts of mainland and southern Nova Scotia. And then for all 3 Maritime provinces, seeing flurries into the evening on Saturday. Newfoundland, Labrador dealing with some flurry activity as well. Into Sunday's forecast, sunny, but yet again a cool down. That's a look at your weather forecast. We'll throw things over to Brianne.
It's the rivalry that spanned decades. Yes, Team USA versus Team Canada for gold in women's hockey at the Olympics. So who better than to weigh in on this heated rivalry than my favorite podcast duo, who just so happen to be living their best lives in Italy right now. Welcome to Jocks and Jills, Tessa Bonham and Julia Toccari. How's Italy treating you ladies?
It's treating us well. Like we really hit the ground running. We got here, we did the whole stay awake for the whole day thing. We had semifinal game day, which was absolutely amazing. Like a blowout by the U.S., a close one for the Canadians. We've been eating good, a little bit of wine when we have time. It's treating us well. Thank you for asking.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That makes me so happy. Have some for me. Tessa, you've literally done this matchup against the U.S. in the 2010 Olympics, but this U.S. team is scary. So what does Canada have to do to take home gold?
Yeah, this U.S. team is probably one of the best teams, I think, put together ever in the history of women's hockey, if I'm being quite frank. And they're going to be a handful for the Canadians. We were just filming our gold medal preview show, and I said to Julia, you know, they're just going to have to play a very tight defensive game. And right now, Team Canada's power play is doing fantastic. So find a way to work hard along the walls, get them to pull you down and have them go in the box and put yourself on the power play and take advantage there. And then for the rest of the way, it's hold on for dear life. And like I said, play solid defense. And obviously, Anne-Renee Desbiens, being one of the best goaltenders in the world, going to need her to have her top-notch game as well.
I mean, defense wins championships, so we do know this, right? Julia, 38 PWHL players in this matchup. What does it say about this league and the growth of women's hockey just around the world in general?
Yeah, the PWHL has done so much. Like we just mentioned, it was a close game between Canada and Switzerland, the closest semifinal game Canada's ever played. And while a lot of Canadians are upset about that, I think it speaks more to how much the rest of the world is catching up when it comes to women's hockey. Alina Mueller plays on Team Switzerland. She's also in the PWHL for Boston. There used to be a separation. Tess has talked about it a lot on the podcast. There used to be almost a fear of the North American players because they just felt like they were a cut above everyone else. But now the European players know they train with them every day. They can keep up with them, and we're seeing that on the ice. It feels like a direct result of the PWHL.
Absolutely.
It feels like a much more even Olympics, just like seeing that talent on the ice. But for this match specifically, who has to be the standout player? So I'm going to ask each of you who has to be the standout player to take home gold for their team.
For Canada, obviously, Marie-Philippe Poulin is going to have to continue what she's doing, but we're going to need to see Darrell Watson, Sarah Fillier step up huge for them. On the back end, I would say Renata Fast, and then obviously Anne-Renee Desbiens is the key piece to all of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the U.S. side, I think I'm going to say Erin Frankel, who's been excellent and looked unsolvable for most of the tournament. And then I'm going to look at their youth. Caroline Harvey has been the best player in this tournament so far. I think she's going to wind up to be one of the best players in women's hockey, if not the best player in women's hockey. She's knocking on the door there already. So much talent on that team, so much talent on both teams. I'm excited for this game.
It's going to be good.
It's going to be a great game. The future is bright, especially for that young talent on the team. But obviously, Marie-Philippe Poulin has been putting this team on her back. She didn't play that last game against the U.S. Is she the difference maker?
She's proven to be.
Yeah.
I mean, we call her Captain Clutch for a reason. Does she have another one in the bank? I think so. It's just who she is to her core. It's the thing with this U.S. team, though, is it's going to take a complete team effort in order to come away with a very close win. So here's to hoping they can support their captain and, get the job done because they are capable. Canada has not played their best game yet or even shown USA a good game yet this season. So they kind of have a little bit of a card there that they can play that the Americans haven't seen.
Fair enough. Well, enjoy, ladies. Thank you so much. And, of course, we've linked your podcast so people can follow your adventures in Italy and beyond.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
It's time now for the responses to our Move Morning Chat. And today we were asking, is there a word your partner always mispronounces? Well, Tammy from Rishabukto says, my boyfriend just reminded me of how I say crayon. I have always pronounced it as crown. So whenever I ask for one, he says, you can't color with it.
That's awesome.
Chris from Russellville says, point of beer instead of pint. Okay, point of beer.
Point of beer.
Also, quarter instead of quarter. Quarter instead of quarter.
Quarter.
Pretty funny, and I tease her about it all the time.
Love it.
Wendy from Moncton says, I cannot pronounce the word peculiar. Never could. Does that make me strange?
See what you did there. See what you did there.
Now, Nancy from Paradise says, my friend always said choir-proctor instead of chiropractor.
Amazing.
Honestly, made me cry of laughter once I realized they were serious. Believe me, there's nobody singing a lovely song for me when I'm visiting my chiropractor.
Oh, come on.
I will be thinking about that one later today.
Yeah, me too.
Chiropractor.
That's amazing.
Thank you for sharing that, Nancy, because yes, that will give me a good laugh this afternoon.
Yep.
Pat from Timberley says, my hubby says I keep pronouncing the little old word yes. He says it always comes out sounding like no.
I love it. I love that you guys are having so much fun with this one.
That's great. Tanya from Halifax says, hubby pronounces everything wrong because he's from Spring Hill.
Shots fired by Tanya.
No comment. No comment from us. Leanie from Halifax says, I don't have a partner, but the word idea is sometimes pronounced as idea. Some people say, I have no idea. Must be a Nova Scotia slang.
I love it. So good.
Evelyn from Upper Sackville says, my lovely hubby always says woof instead of wolf. Well, that one always cracks me up for some reason when people say woof instead of wolf. I don't know what it is about that combination of words, but I do always find it more funny.
I love it. I have a friend who he was playing baseball with a guy, and they were having a conversation out in the outfield or whatever, and he was like, oh yeah, you know, Kuichion. And my friend Faustin's like, pardon?
Oh my
And he's like, Kuichion, the ancient Japanese proverb. He's like, to each his own? So now my entire family says Kuichion.
There.
And some of my coworkers.
Yes, I remember this story.
Because I do tell this story quite often because it just makes me cry. And I always now say Kuichion whenever I'm like, well, Kuichion.
Hilarious.
But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the responses.
Yeah.
There were a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot to do on this Thursday as well. So still repping Team Canada, of course.
When's the game?
The game is at 2:10.
2:10.
2:10 our time today, puck drop, Canada-US. For all the marbles, once again, just classic rivalry. I love talking to Tessa because she played on that 2010 team.
Yes.
This 2010 team, the Vancouver Olympics team, right? Famous ones with the cigars on the ice. And my favorite Tessa Bonhomme story is her sister actually bought the box of cigars from like a random place in Vancouver, and like the guy had his son bike the cigars over to her sister. She gave them to the equipment manager, was like, put these in my sister's cubby for after the game when they win. And so Tessa just goes in, sees cigars in her cubby, takes them out, gives one. I think the Prime Minister was there, like gives them all out. And then her sister asked her, was like, did you get them? And she's like, get what? She's like, the cigars. She's like, those are from you? So like she had no idea. She just was like handing out cigars after the game.
I love that she knew what to do with them though.
Yep. Always know what to do when you win gold.
Go Canada.
See you tomorrow.
Bye.